Okay. Talked about the. Hope I explained better my position on communism. I want to make it very clear. And I said to my people that have criticized my video and made some constructive criticism, try to explain yourself better because it was unclear to them. And I want to make it very clear. I'm not promoting communism. I'm not promoting communism or socialism at all. Capitalism has its problems too. We know that, but it's the best system we have. Capitalist system in a republic governed by a constitution is the best system we have so far for the problems we have when it comes to the necessity for a government, the necessity for having people over us directing, governing, and guiding us as a nation. And there's no better system out there. And if you don't see that, then unfortunately, you're doomed to failure because you're going to end up with an elite, a tyrannical elite. I got a call the other day from one of my friends. We were going out. We were going out to have a meeting, and we got on a trolley together, and we were heading towards our meeting place, and we were discussing this. And he got very loud, and he was really angry, and he was complaining about the fact he has a daughter who's in a athletic program at school, and they were just told that boys now are going to be allowed in the athletic program along with the daughter because of this new mandate put down that President Biden is. I can't say that, President Biden. Oh my God. Anyway, I can't believe I'm saying that. He put down. He has this program now where boys and girls. There's no gender. Guys can compete with women now in sports. He's livid, and he's really livid because he says that he believes that the next thing is they're going to be sharing locker rooms together. And he was told that they're going to be able to share locker rooms, and that would mean bathrooms and locker rooms and showers. God knows what else. He is now starting to see my point. And this guy was a leftist. This guy was a real progressive, real fire-breathing, good guy, good preacher, very good individual. Really cares. But he was really, and he says, you said to me the best way to defeat communism and socialism is to let it play out. Let the people who believe in this stuff see what it really means. And he says, now, beginning to see what you're saying now, because he feels he can't fight back. He has to take his daughter out. I had to calm him down. He was almost getting violent. I had to calm him down. He says, no one's going to hurt my daughter. They're going to hurt my daughter. They're not going to like what I do. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to have to. I just calm down, relax. I said, the worst that can happen is you take your daughter out of the program, but you understand what I'm telling you. There's no way to fight back in these systems because you have what's called an elite system. The elite tell you what to do. You're the proletariat. They tell you what to do. They decide that it's okay for men and women to compete because they think it's equality, whatever they think. I think it's a lot more worse than that. I think they're not interested in equality. They're not interested. They don't like people. The elites don't. They don't like us. Okay, and I've said this before. We are the deplorables. We are the smelly Walmart shoppers. We do not belong to the special society that Lisa Page talked about when she was emailing her boyfriend Peter Strzok. They are the elite. It's not a Bolshevik system. It's not a communist system, but it's a real system. And these people have their own party, their own political party. I've called them the Transcendentalist Party, the Transcendental Capitalist Party. They believe that they can control all the wealth of the country, make all the rules, and tell us how to live. And then, in this way, the country will prosper. And they're going to, of course, take the lion's share of the profits, the lion's share of the property, the lion's share, and they're going to be in a special program where they will be capitalists. The Bible talks about something like this. I think in Revelation it says that only those with the mark of the beast will be able to buy and sell in the marketplace. It's kind of like that in a way. I'm not, preaching the Bible or anything like that. Don't consider myself to be evangelical, but I do read the Bible a lot, and I get a lot of insight from it, and more so than I ever expected to. And these days, it's becoming more and more relevant to what The way I've read the Bible, what I say. Yeah, they see themselves as a special party. Only they can buy and sell. You cannot. You're a proletariat. You're a worker. You're you're a servant, a member of the servant class. But they see this as a good thing. They see this as a natural thing. Unless you have a degree from an Ivy League institution, you have at least an MS, a master's degree from one of these programs, you should not be allowed in their system. You should not be given any power, any say, or any authority in the system because you have as Karl Marx talked about, the revolutionary consciousness to be able to promote the system. They're not communists, though. I guarantee you, they're not. They are capitalists. Okay, just like Arm and Hammer. He's a capitalist, and he helped Lenin with capitalism in the 19. Well, I think from the 1930s all the way through to the 1970s and 80s. I think he was involved. Somebody said he was involved in Chernobyl. He had to go down there in Chernobyl and help out the government at that time, communist government, with the problem with Chernobyl. I have to look that up because there was a problem. What he did, what him and Lenin invested in and helped, he was very proud of this. It's called Hammer. You want to get the book by Arm and Hammer. He's very open, very honest. He brags. He's bragging. He's not hiding nothing. He's telling you everything. I like this guy. I have no problem with it at all. I don't. I think I don't think he's a traitor, but I do think he's an outright, no nonsense elitist. Okay, he's telling you, we're in charge. This is how we're going to do it, and he don't care about he's telling you the truth. So read his book; it's great. And they started a pencil factory. Okay, now that sounds great, don't you think? Him and Lenin started a pencil factory, and this is in the beginning of the pre-World War II, I think, era, and they're investing in a pencil factory. They're making pencils for school children. This was the beginning of the atomic age, right in the very beginning, and the thought occurred to me that pencils are made of graphite, and graphite is a key component for atomic reactors. Okay, this is a little early for the atomic age, but I do think I have a theory, and it is a theory, a conspiracy theory, but that this was Arm and Hammer's way of preparing Russia to become a nuclear power. This didn't happen, of course, until after World War II, but I think Russia was definitely doing research in this area, just as we were. We had our Manhattan Project; they had their Manhattan Project, and I think that Arm and Hammer was helping them get ready for this eventuality for Russia becoming a nuclear power, and it makes sense because if we don't have a Russian nuclear power industry, there'd be no nuclear power industry in this country. We needed a nuclear power industry in this country for industrial purposes and for military purposes. But without that threat, without that fear that this would bring about, coming from Russia having a nuclear industry, we wouldn't have one here. We would stop it. We wouldn't have gone down that road, I think. But anyway, that's just the theory I've had. But I do think that it's important to understand that we do business with these guys. Okay, we do business with Russia and China, and it doesn't matter. And we did business with Hitler too. Okay, don't mark my words. Okay, just be very, very open, and be honest with yourselves. We do business with, and I went to college. I went to school. It was school that I had right down the street from one of the great truck manufacturing companies in the country, Mack Truck. And Mack Truck was under a little bit of fire at that time. I was in I think sophomore and junior in college. They built a truck plant in Russia. This was in the middle of the Vietnam War, or near the end of the Vietnam War. Things were getting pretty heated up. We're getting ready to retreat, and Mack Truck was called out on this by a lot of the conservatives. The leftists didn't seem to care. I mean, they were the ones that were, against the war in Vietnam, and here we were helping one of the proponents of the war. We're building trucks for them, and I'm sure those trucks found their way back into Southeast Asia. But Mack Truck was in big trouble, so they came up with a new logo, and they have a bulldog. Bulldog is their mascot, and they usually see a bulldog on the hoods of their trucks. They came up with a bulldog painted red, white, and blue. Okay, that was their way of counteracting that problem, the bad image that they had for themselves. But what they were really doing is making money. They were doing what they're supposed to do: make money for their constituents, for their stockholders, to build their brand. This is going on all the time, guys. This is one of the things when I say about communism, these words are designed to keep us in line. We have to start thinking like these intelligentsia, this transcendental capitalist party. We have to start thinking like them. We have to get rid of the emotion, get rid of the hate. We have to be analytical. We have to think about what's going on. We're not, these bomb throwing videos I see all over on BitChute and on YouTube. It's not helping. It's not going to change anything. Yeah, we're trying to educate ourselves on what's really going on, and red pilling everybody. With the red pill thing going on and all that, which is fine. But be careful. Be careful. This is where disinformation can come in. The biggest weapon that the intelligentsia has over us is our own stupid emotions. They can play us like fiddles. They can get us all fighting with one another, left on the left and on the right. We're arguing the same points. We're talking about the same thing. We're talking about real health care. We're talking about real education. The left is saying it should be free. The right saying we have to afford it. We have to make sure that it's effective, make sure that it's cost effective. They don't want to, the two sides can't meet on that. It's amazing. Because we're emotional, because we have to be right, because we have our degrees and we have our education, and we're so smart, and nobody can come and tell us that we're wrong. We don't want to hear anybody's point of view. It's ridiculous. It's stupid, and you got to be careful these bomb throwing things. The other thing we'll talk about are the anti-Jewish. I'm seeing a lot of anti-Semitism on the web. I want to address that next, because that's the next thing we need to be worried about. It's a problem, guys, and it's not going to help us. Believe me, it's not going to help us it's not going to help us on the one reform this country in a way that's constitutional, on a constitutional basis. We're not going to this business of the anti-Jewish bias, this Jewish bias that's coming out is not a good thing, and I'll tell you why in the next video.